YouTube. How you doing? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. I guess today what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna build a little something in Creative. The server's down. I want to upload something. Maybe you want to see something. I don't know. But I don't usually play in Creative, so it'll be kind of refreshing. Plus it lets me work with blocks I don't get much access to in survival mode. So, I don't know, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe you'll watch something worthwhile. I don't know. I'm just gonna build something. I don't know what I'm gonna build, but I'm just gonna start doing, and we'll see what happens. It's experimentation time. Alright. So let's see here. I'm kind of overwhelmed seeing all these blocks. So many. So many. But maybe I'll just stick with maybe I'll do like a black and white thing. That tends to be what I like to do. So maybe I'll do something with let's see, I think these two would go well together. Alright, well let's have some fun with diorite, netherite, and deep slate. Real simple, but you know, I find that I kind of work best with just a simple block palette. I think it's kind of nice to work within limitations. So that's what we're gonna do here. Alright, start with a circle. I think I prefer that shape. So do that. Just like that. And maybe we'll do something maybe we'll do some wedges. Some black and white wedges. That could be interesting. Of course, I gotta make a bigger circle surrounding it. So I'll do like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that'd be good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure it doesn't get too wide on the corners. I tend to be kind of a culprit for doing that on freestyle circles, but I think it looks pretty alright. So let's see how it looks whenever I make it a complete circle. Yeah, I think that'll do just fine. Let's see. A good way to test your freestyle circles is you stand in the middle here, right in the middle. You go up and you give it a little spin, and if it seems to be pretty even whenever you spin it, then you know you got a pretty good freestyle circle. So that's how I test them. Plus you can kind of eyeball it too. So maybe I won't do wedgies. Maybe I'll just do like a mini version of the catacombs floor. Plus it kind of gives me a chance to talk about it a little bit, because I don't think I've really discussed it yet. But basically, on the crossways, you have a perfectly diagonal square like this, and on the corners, you have, since this still represents a square with 90-degree angles, that means on the corners you have, well, it's not perfect, but you kind of get the idea. It rotates around so that by the time it gets to be on the corner, it's just a normal square. So that kind of balances out having I guess the straightaways and the diagonals. It kind of brings a bit of a balance to that. Maybe I'll make it a little wider. Yeah, I don't know. They're just... Maybe I do need to make these shapes just smaller. Maybe... I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do alternating outlines. So you see what I mean by that in just a second. There's always kind of a sizing issue whenever you build stuff on diagonals because, well, this is not going to be the same size as that, even though they kind of represent the same, I guess, shape. It's just this one's on diagonal. I mean, you could put this on diagonal, but then it just looks like how it does there. So that's kind of a tough situation. I guess one way to kind of remedy that kind of sizing inconsistency is just to do like a circular form on all intervals throughout a circle, and that's kind of like how whenever I do like the columns and stuff, they're kind of, you know, circular, so they don't really look that irregular on whenever I place them on intervals around circles. You can kind of see, and I'll probably pull up a clip here, but on the museum around the garden area, I've never quite been happy with the bases of the columns, because even though the spacing on the columns is, well, pretty even, the bases on them are all square, and they just didn't look right as circular bases, but it kind of creates like a weird, like, because they're square, it kind of creates like weird sized gaps in some areas, but I'll pull up an example on screen for that. But that's kind of what I'm talking about with diagonal sizing. But these two are roughly the same size, so that's why I think I'm gonna do, and maybe since I got the netherite here, I'll pull in a different material. Maybe I'll just do some of this. But so that's why I'm just gonna kind of do this kind of deal. And so we'll do a little bit of alternating outlines here. And the sizing should be pretty similar. No. Okay, well, if alternating outlines won't work, maybe we can just do, well, it's not perfect, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do some borderless blocks. Maybe I'll do calcite and smooth basalt in between. Then I'm just gonna kind of fill it in here. Maybe creates an angle like that. It's shared between these two sides, and just use that to create like some kind of little fin thing. That could be interesting. Alright, let's see. Let's mirror. Let's reflect it here. This is one handy thing about doing circular builds is that you get lots of mirror points. Going across this square, you get a mirror point. So, of course, this is going to be just like that, but also on the diagonals, this is also a mirror point, so you can see how it's kind of mirroring this shape on either side as well. So really, once you've done just one little, not even a quarter of the whole circle, you could pretty much do the whole, well, yeah, one quarter. It is a quarter. You just do 1/4 of the circle, and you know how to do the whole thing. So that's kind of something that makes these things kind of both easy and effective building things. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. Yeah, I think that could be pretty interesting. All right, I'll do a cut real quick, and I'll do this little thing I got going on here all around the circle, and we'll see how that ends up. Yeah, I think this one turned out pretty great. You know, it's kind of like doing those little paper snowflakes. You know, you get it folded up, and you make cuts into it, and you don't quite know how it's going to end up whenever you unfold it all. You have a little bit of an idea, but this is the unfolded snowflake, and I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm quite happy with that. I think it does. It's able to kind of satisfy the straightaways and the diagonals in a pretty good way. So now I just got to figure out what I'm gonna do around it in the middle of it. I don't know if I'm gonna do a dome here. Maybe I'll make it like a little plaza or something. I don't know. Let's get that figured out here. Maybe I'll do some kind of column in the middle, like just a little ceremonial column thing. Let's see. Maybe I'll also use some brighter colored blocks for the middle too, just so maybe it'll draw your attention to it. Maybe I'll have it kind of step up, so I add some stairs all around just to give it a little platform so it won't be all flat. Gotta make platforms and not flat forms here. So maybe I'll do just a little step up. We'll step up just to elevate it just a little bit. So I had all these little stairs around here. I also just got a notification that the server came back up, so that's good too. No, usually, well, not usually, but it has been known to be gone for 3 or 4 days at a time. But no, they got it dealt with pretty quick. So thanks a lot to the mods and of course Moth. It's greatly appreciated. I know that must be a hassle to deal with. I can only imagine. Of course, I'm not the one dealing with it, but I can imagine. Let's see, what block would go cool in the middle? Maybe these could be cool. Glazed terracotta. You could do all sorts of funky things with that. Maybe yellow glazed terracotta. And maybe I'll add cobble gold. So let's see what I can do with that. Because I think these would probably blend together in a pretty interesting way. So maybe do that. Maybe that. Something like that. Maybe. Well, we're getting somewhere with that. Maybe do little flowers, little gold flowers, just like that. Maybe we only do them. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we could add gold blocks in there as well, just for some center points. Let's see. Do a little rim. Yeah, I'm digging that. Yeah, I think I'll go with that for the outside inner ring things and rings and all the like. I'll tell you what I'm not looking forward to is starting to get into finals territory. I thought things have been a little too calm lately, but it's starting to ramp up just a little bit. But, I don't know. I found this semester pretty enjoyable overall, so I guess I can't complain too much. But just gotta make some time to study. Sometimes I wish I had extra hours in the day, but I know that's not really what I'm wishing for. I'm wishing for less obligations, I guess. Yeah, I'm digging it. And then I'll tell you what else goes with cobble gold is glowstone. It looks just like it. So that's a great way to integrate some lights, I think. Just like that. You know, that also gave me a little bit of an idea. And I don't know if you might find this useful or not, but this is just something that popped into my head. These three things kind of... You could probably do something with that. But there's something to think about. Now, we'll do ourselves a funky little column here. Let's see. Maybe a basalt column base. Yeah. And then we'll do this little bit of column anatomy here. I believe it's called the torus. The torus is what it's called. So that's a little bit of column anatomy for you. I don't really know how necessary it is to know that to make a good column. If you want to make a column in a certain way, you can definitely remember all the parts, but I mean, there's lots of good ways to make a column. It doesn't have to be a classical column. I mean, you could come up with your own way of doing it, and it would be fine. So that's what I think, anyway. Of course, if you want to do it a specific way, I guess go for it and learn all the anatomical terms. Well, I guess we'll see if that works. That could be interesting. Just having those lines to help express the verticality of it. And if I don't like it, well, we'll just try something else. I think I like it though. I think that'll make for something interesting. So we'll try that. And we'll make it nice and tall so everybody can see it. You could even see it if you're outside of render distance. That's how tall I'm gonna make it. All those villages off in the distance, they'll be able to see it, even though I can't see them. That's how tall it's gonna be. You know what, on second thought, maybe I don't like that. Maybe I don't like that. I'll tell you what though, since I'm in creative, I can do something fun with the debug stick. Now, the debug stick, I've discovered it a few years ago on accident, and there is all sorts of great things you can do with it. But I'm going to show you one really cool thing you can do with it. Since I'm in creative, and I may as well use it, I'll do a little demonstration. So just let me fill in the rest of these. Here is what a debug stick is good for. So give Minecraft debug stick. Alright. If you don't know what a debug stick is, you're about to have your mind blown. Alright, so I've got this completely filled in with these walls, right? Well, debug sticks let me modify how the block is. So I can just have it not be that way. Meaning I get all these cool stripes in here that I wouldn't have otherwise in survival. And now it should be pretty even all the way around, just like that. So you can see that's what you can do with the debug stick. Actually, on second thought, now it's too flat. Now it's too flat. It is. I can't lie to myself. The sides are too side-like. I'm trying something else, but you got to see the demonstration. You know what? I think I got kind of a fun idea. You know, like I said earlier, you can invent your own column types. Why don't we invent a column? Instead of trying to do something that already exists, I'm gonna invent a black and white column that kind of does what this floor is doing. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come up with something, and I'm not gonna be worried about if it's shaped right or not, because it's gonna be original, and it doesn't gotta be shaped right. It's just gotta be a good original. So let me see what I can come up with here. Alright, so we got this bottom part, and it's gonna get more pointy and a little bit, well, actually no, maybe I won't make it pointy, but it's gonna build up to something now. You'll see. You'll see. It's gonna be kind of like nets going up the column. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. You can see it's kind of equal no matter what angle you look at it from. It's got a nice texture going on. I'm going to make this quite a bit taller. I'm going to add some little details like buttons in the middle of these crossings. And this is going to be great. And then of course I'm going to add a nice capital on top of this column that I'm coming up with. Alright, so we got all that built up. Now the column needs a hat, so I'm going to give it a hat. A nice, well, it's kind of a lacy column, so I'll give it an elegant lacy hat. Yeah, it took me a few tries to get the capital just right, but you can see it kind of almost seamlessly integrates itself into the column. You can see I've got this last net ring on the top. I stretched it out a little bit just so it could kind of build up to the top, and I tried to kind of make it expand outwards using, well, of course you got these really thin trapdoors, and it kind of gets thicker, kind of branching outwards with these smooth basalt lines here. And of course I've got this deep slate tile, so when I review it from the corner, it's not just a solid white thing, it kind of alternates between white and black and white and black. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that little column solution I came up with there. So I guess the last thing I'm gonna do is just kind of add some greenery around, and I think I'll call that an experiment well done. You know what? I'll do some custom trees. My friend Ryer or Rier, or however you say it, they taught me how to do some really good little vertical tree things, so I'm gonna kind of emulate that. Now someone else might have come up with the design originally, but I learned it from Ryer or Rier, or however you say it, and you can kind of see some of those vertical trees around Alabamaville too. But I think I'm gonna do some of those. Just since this is a column, we need some column-like trees. So that is what I'm gonna add. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Make a nice little ring around the ring, and in the middle you got this big column. I think they all help each other out in making this one thing. Maybe one last little thing. I'll just add some little flowers. At least I'll be able to enjoy these without sneezing. And it is springtime anyway. So let's just add some more nature, because I think nature makes people happy. So I'll just kind of throw these around a little bit, just here and there. I think that'll be all right. All right, and there we go. Here's my little project for since the server's down. My little column with a circle. So I hope you all enjoyed, and well, I guess I'll see you all whenever I see you all, and make sure to do all the YouTube things, like and subscribe, and smash that like button, and all the things. Anyway, bye-bye.